Our project is the refined momentum factors and its application on Shenwan-First-level-Industry-Indexes in China. In this project, Zhang Xianhua and Guo Xiaokun processed the data and wrote the codes to test our model. Wang Jing, Zhao Yuanjia, and Zhu Yichen did the background research, wrote the slides and report. The objective of our program is to improve the power of traditional momentum factors. In different periods of the trading day, there may be systematic differences in the composition of traders, which will lead to different market behavior characteristics. So we made a new momentum factor. Our idea came from Farmer-Friend 3 model and Farmer-Friend 5 model. The Farmer-Friend 3 model considers market risk, size risk, and value risk, and Farmer-Friend 5 model introduces another two factors, investment and profitability. We focus on the momentum factor, which has been studied for years but not combined into FFI model. Thus, we consider that momentum is an important part of the alpha in the FF5 model.
As for the model construction, we divided the traditional momentum M into two new momentum factors, the intraday momentum factor M0 and the overnight momentum factor M1. And we do some transformations to them and then combine them into our new gold momentum factor, M new gold. And in our research, we use Shenwan-First-level-Industry-Indexes from 2006 to 2018 for about 13 years. And as we can see in this slide, the traditional momentum M is just the sum of the close price of every day for past 15 days. And the R1 is the close price of today over open price of today minus 1. And R2 is the open price of today over close price of yesterday minus 1. And the intraday momentum factor is just the sum of every day R1 for past 15 days. And the overnight momentum factor is the sum of R2 for past 15 days. And then according to intraday factor, we score the 28 industries from 1 to N ascendingly, while scoring industries from high to low based on the overnight momentum factor. We add them two scores with the same weight and get our new gold momentum factor. As for the backtest, we divided 20 industries into 5 groups, and we change every portfolio at every end of the month according to 4 factors mentioned above respectively. You know, always choosing the best, of course. And then we calculate the net values, the annualized return of every portfolios in certain period of time. And if you want to know the specific methods, please read our slides carefully.
Next, I will explain the effect of the original factor M0 and M1. We sorted the stocks according to M0 and M1 and divided the stocks into 5 groups from group 1 to group 5. From this picture, we can see that the return of the portfolio gradually decreases with the decrease of M0. And then it increases with the decrease of M1. But the influence of M1 is not so obvious, and the influence of M0 is really obvious. The following picture is more interesting. First of all, the trend it shows is the same as the previous picture. The return of the portfolio decreases as M0 decreases, and so on. But please pay attention to the y-axis. The maximum value is only about 17%. Look at the previous picture. The maximum return is about 50%. The return in the previous picture is much greater than the second picture. In our analysis, the reason for this phenomenon is that after the factors were discovered, they became crowded over time. So everyone's exercise income will decrease until 0. These two graphs shows the results of the layered backtesting of M1 and M0. it can be seen that they are like rainbows. The portfolio with the top 20% M0 shows the highest return, while M1 is the opposite. This indicates that M intraday is a momentum factor, while M overnight is a reverse factor. So we decided to combine them together. Zhu Yicheng will introduce the new combined factor to you.
From previous research, we have proved that M intraday is a momentum factor and M overnight is a reversal factor. So we combine the two factors together as M new gold. Here is a backtest result. As we can, here is a backtest from 2006 to 2010. It shows that the new factor is significant, here is a backtest from 2011 to 2015. It shows it is not significant. As we can see, this new factor was known by more and more people, and the arbitrage opportunity from traditional momentum factor strategy become much weaker. Here is a numerical test. We can say from 2006 to 2010, it improved about 9% return and lower about 6% maximum drawdown, but it is not significant in the 2011 to 2015.
Now we compare the return of the strategy in 2006 to 2010, 2010 to 2015, 2016 to 2018 separately. We can find that the effectiveness of the M new gold factor is gradually weakened after 2018. The return of the 5 combinations are no longer strictly monotonous, but the best long position group still maintains the best return performance. Compared with the traditional momentum factor, the golden rule factor is still more effective. Comparing the two graphs of the factor-based portfolio return from 2016 to 2018, the performance of the golden rule factor is better than that of the traditional factor. Meanwhile, the golden rule factor may perform better in a bull market, while the ability to distinguish the 5 portfolio groups will be weakened in a bear market. The innovation in our paper is that we do not focus on the traditional momentum factor. Instead, we separate the traditional momentum factor into 2 parts, intraday momentum and overnight momentum, which shows a positive momentum effort and inverse one. And we reassemble them to create a new momentum factor M new gold. After that, we prove the effectiveness of the new momentum factor in constructed portfolios. The separation of the traditional momentum in reassembling is not much researched before. The contribution of our research is that from the empirical results of our model, M new gold is effective in the past decades, while it has been gradually invalid in recent years. At the same time, the 2 parts we separate from the traditional momentum factor still holds good momentum and reversal effects. Therefore, we are convinced that the new methods can be discovered for creating a new effective momentum factor to fit the market. In our paper, we find that the effectiveness of the momentum factor is significantly different in a bull market and a bear market. This gives us the hint that in the followed-up research, we can add the switch variable to distinguish the bull market from the bear market for the new momentum